Alright, so I just wanted to go over the 3 questions that we saw on the self-assessment, just in case if you're still not sure how to do this. So in question 3, we had a special right triangle. And when you see the 60 degrees, I want you to try to think back to our little interactivity where you drew squares and isosceles triangles. And I want you to just imagine an isosceles triangle, right? And then this is technically half of that. So all of these are 60 degrees. And then the most simple isosceles triangle that we drew was the one with sides of 2. So like this was 2, this was 2. This side was 2, but we broke it up equally. So it was 1, 1. And this is really the most important part, understanding that the hypotenuse is twice as long as the leg across from the 30 degrees. Because if you understand that, then usually you can just even use Pythagorean theorem. You don't even have to do the third side. But we did figure out using the Pythagorean theorem that this was square root of 3. So essentially what this tells us is that whatever the short leg is, right? So I'm going to actually say short leg here. The hypotenuse will be twice as long, so twice the short leg. And then the long leg will be short leg times square root of 3. So it's going to be square root of 3 times the short leg. Okay. So anyways, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to imagine extending my triangle. And I'm going to recognize that this is also 4 root 3. And this is an isosceles triangle, the whole thing. So this has to be equal, the x has to be equal to the same length as this. And this is 8 root 3. And then every single side length of the equilateral triangle was also 8 root 3. Right, and this was 8 root 3. Okay. So you got x covered. So x was just 8 root 3. Now, if you know that, you can use Pythagorean theorem because you have a right triangle. You know this is 4 root 3, and you know this is 8 root 3, and you just don't know why. So you definitely can do Pythagorean theorem at this point. So you could say y squared plus 4 root 3 squared equals 8 square root of 3 squared. And you're carefully going to square everything. Remember that when I square 4 root 3, I'm actually squaring a 4, so it becomes 6 and the root 3, so 16 times 3. And over here, I'm going to square an 8, so that's 64, and the root 3. So y squared is going to be 64 times 3, which is going to be, I think, 192. And then 16 times 3 is going to be 48. So that is what y squared is equal to. All right, so that comes out to be 144. And it's great because it's a perfect square, so then I know right away that if y squared is 144, and I take the square root, that y has to be 12. So this approach uses Pythagorean theorem once you realize that the hypotenuse has to be twice as long as the short leg. Again, going back to our isosceles triangle. Okay, so that's one way to do this. And now I'm going to not use the Pythagorean theorem for a second, so I'm going to erase this. And instead I'm going to use the relationship within the triangle and go from there. Okay, so I'm going to leave my picture on the top to kind of help me move around the triangle. So what this kind of tells me is that if I would like to move from short leg to long leg, I would have to double the number. So that tells me right here that if my short leg, the one across from 30 degrees, is 4 square root of 3, I must double it. So 4 root 3 gets multiplied by 2. When you multiply two numbers, 4 is rational, square root of 3 is irrational, and 2 is rational. So when we multiply numbers, essentially you can simplify the two rational numbers together. So 4 can be multiplied by 2 and be simplified to 8. But square root of 3 is just square root of 3, so there's nothing you're going to do with that. So it's just going to be 8 root 3 for the hypotenuse. Okay. Now let's say that I want to go from my short leg to my long leg, and I notice it went from 1 to root 3, so I simply have to multiply by square root of 3. So I'm going to go back to my short leg and multiply by a square root of 3. So 4 root 3 times root 3. So now you have 4 is rational, square root of 3 is irrational, and the second square root of 3 is also irrational. So now I'm going to multiply these two numbers together, and 4 is just going to be there by itself. So 4 times square root of 9, which is just 3, and that also gives me 12. And then that's pretty much it. Now, I want to give you a couple of hints about how to check your work. So one option, if you just have like a few seconds or something, just make sure that the numbers actually make sense, meaning that your longest side is in fact across from 90 degrees, your shortest side is in fact across from your smallest angle. So for example, 4 root 3 should be your smallest because it's across from your smallest angle. This, which we got to be 8 root 3, has to be the longest because it's across from the largest angle. And then 12 would be your middle number because it's across from your middle angle. So that's a good way to just quickly assess if things make sense. You might need to use your calculator to get a decimal if you're not sure about the value of the number. So that's one way. Now, if you have a little bit more time, what you can do is you can actually use Pythagorean Theorem to check whether your numbers actually make sense. So as a way to check, once you have all your numbers, you can make sure that 4 root 3 squared plus 12 squared is in fact equals to 8 square root of 3 squared. This will take you a little bit longer. You want to make sure you don't make any mistakes, but you could definitely use a calculator and square the numbers and just make sure that the left side is actually equal to the right side, so you can be 100% sure that you did this correctly. All right.